And hello, friends. Here we go. This is the RR Show. I am Vince, and we are going to be having a fun time with some tales. As always, leave a review, tell your friends about the show, and thank you for being there. So let's jump into this episode, this Tales episode of the RR Show right now. Our first story comes from r/TalesfromRetail. User Iron Gains Guru. Lady argues with me for not catching thief. For context, I'm a 21-year-old male who works at a gas station that puts pictures of thieves on the door. Basically, our wall of shame to try and deter people from stealing. It doesn't work. We currently have a picture of some guy on the door who stole sunglasses a while ago with the caption, "Thief, please help identify," written above his picture. This lady, we'll call her Karen, who's around 40, comes into the store and up to my register with her energy drinks. Karen: "So, somebody robbed you?" Me: "Not robbed, just stole." "You didn't try to go after him?" At this point, she's already getting upset at me, and I'm just baffled. No, I'm not going to risk my life over sunglasses. Apparently, this is not what she wanted to hear because this set her off. Karen said, "Oh, so you just let people come in here and steal whatever they want, and you do nothing about it? What are you going to do? Put their picture on the door and hope they come back?" She also said something about someone being able to come in with a gun and rob me at gunpoint and how I would just give them the cash without a struggle. Me: "No, we file a police report. Regardless, it's not legal for me to..." Lady then proceeds to cut me off. "I can't believe you just allow people to come into your store and steal whatever they want and you do nothing about it. Keep in mind, I'm a college student getting paid $14 an hour, and by no means do I own this place." Me: "Ma'am, I don't own this store. I'm just a cashier." Karen: "Yes, you do. I can't believe you just allow people to do this." At this point, I just want to get this woman's transaction over with and have her get out of here. Me: "Just hit I'm done on the screen." This lady proceeds to not listen to me and press every other button on the keypad and not the giant I'm done button on the screen. Karen: "I hit everything and it's not working." Me: "Yes, because you didn't hit I'm done on the screen." Finally, she understood and hit the button. As she's leaving, she says, "I am not trying to argue with you. I just think it's screwed up that you allow people to do that." Then she storms out. My manager came out of the bathroom at the beginning of this and was listening to the whole thing. We both just looked at each other and completely were baffled by this lady. Morale of the story: every cashier should become Batman and put their lives on the line to stop crime. Edit. I forgot to mention the fact I wasn't even working when the theft occurred. Even if I wanted to do something, I couldn't have. Our next user comes from r/TalesfromYourServer. We're going to leave out the title of the posting at the request of the poster, and we're going to be removing some names too. It's a great story, interesting story, but just a little request from the original poster. So, removing names, we're anonymizing it a little bit, and here we go. This is from r/TalesfromYourServer. So I'm around 30, female, and when I was going through a really tough time at home, I found a diner nearby that I could go drink coffee and chat with the old folks when I needed to escape. I got along very well with the owner. He reminded me of my Italian grandfather that passed away. At the time, the diner was just a safe environment that meant the world to me. I made friends with many of the customers that sit at the counter, including a 90-year-old Korean war vet, a high school guidance counselor, a retired professional boxer, plenty of Vietnam vets, and a state trooper. I got to hear so many stories and make so many friendships that I still have today. Over the course of a few months, things got bad enough that I left home with my little brother. No place to go, and needed a job that I could have cash immediately so I could afford to keep us in a local hotel. I begged the old man to hire me. It took a couple of weeks because I didn't want him or anyone to know how desperately I needed that job. Not just for the cash, but with everything going on, I just wanted to be somewhere I felt safe. He hired me and I learned menu and computers within 2 days. I got along with even the most prickly of staff, and most importantly, with the customers who loved me already. I was working my first really crazy busy shift around Valentine's Day, only my second time working on the counter and having an additional 6 booths to take care of. I was smiling ear to ear, making quick jokes with regulars, keeping my order tickets organized, and no one's food sat for more than 20 seconds. Frankly, I was overwhelmed at the time. Overwhelmed. I was only smiling so I wouldn't cry. Didn't stop smiling, never slammed anything, never gave attitude, nothing. I saw the state trooper come in and actually sighed in relief because this is my friend. I sat with him on so many busy days before I ever worked there. We talked about work, our families, and cars, and politics. This was my friend. He knew I was new, so maybe I just assumed he'd be more understanding, especially since we both saw how chaotic and tense it can get in there. I made a quick joke as he sat down, got his drink order. He told me straight away, which I already knew, and he told me he was in a rush. Grabbed his drink, put his order in, brought it to him the second it was in the window. He had 3/4 of his coffee mug full, but was annoyed I hadn't topped off his coffee within 4 minutes to keep it super hot. Because he was in a rush, I said something like, "Oh, I'm sorry, Dave, I'm doing my best. Honestly, I'm just a little overwhelmed." And I laughed and poured his coffee, then got back to running food and taking orders, etc. He waved me down to pay his check, and it was $11.82. He gave me a 20. I gave him 9 back to save myself time from counting change. He got ticked. "I want my change back." "What? Wait, do you need quarters for the meter because your change was supposed to be $8.18? I could change one of my dollars for the 3/4 if you want." "No, I want my proper change." "Okay, that's fine. I'll need one of those dollars back, though. I was trying to round up for you." He was legitimately angry and balling up his fists. Dave kept saying, "You can't rip me off," and I kept saying, "I wasn't ripping you off. I gave you more change than you were supposed to get so I could save myself some time. We sit together all the time. Are you joking?" Wouldn't speak another word to me. I didn't fight with him on the extra dollar, and I just gave him the extra 18 cents. He sent a nasty letter to my boss calling me a thief. Ridiculously offensive to me. I'd rather be called the C word. And he didn't come in for years. He somehow got the impression that I moved away, and he started coming in again. I was on vacation and had a new schedule. I worked as a fill-in the other day, and he was there. Wouldn't speak to me, wouldn't look at me. Little man jumped into his big-ass lifted pickup truck and burnt so much rubber leaving that you could smell it in the restaurant. Got the plates, called it in to report it since he almost hit someone in the parking lot. My car tires were missing all of the things that screw on to keep the tires to keep the air in when I left. Turns out, was arrested for domestic violence. Lost his badge and his firearm, has no contact with his kids anymore. Not sure if I caused this or if I saved the public from a much worse reaction during a traffic stop. I feel terrible for his family, but boy am I glad he can't legally carry a weapon anymore. My message to anyone else serving, don't fight over the small stuff. Speak softly and carry a big stick. The third and final story for this episode comes from r/Tales from the Front Desk. Posted by user BornRecipe7938. My GM accused me of lying, so I sent proof. Anyway, last week we had a large snowstorm hit my area. My usual 45 to 60 minute drive turned into 3+ hours, and the canyon I was stuck in was backed up for 15-ish hours. This info comes in handy shortly. The next day, I was driving to work with ample time to spare, as I usually do because my drive can be unpredictable. My drive is split up about 50-50 of canyon and a hilly highway. I was a couple of miles into my last half of my drive, and I ran over something, a piece of metal, concrete, etc. I really don't know what it was. My car was slightly tilted, and I knew I had a flat. I have my spare jack and all the tools necessary to replace my tire temporarily. However, due to the weather we just had and the fact I was starting an uphill stretch, I couldn't get my jack to be stable. And I was afraid I was going to hurt my car. No car equals no job. I texted my general manager as I had to report to her that day because my boss was off. She asked me to send her pictures and if I knew how to change a tire. As she requested, I sent her pictures that included the flat tire, the tools, the location I was at, and a selfie of me with the tire. It took a while for the text to send with the pictures because I didn't have great service. I finally got it to send after about an hour or so. I told her I called roadside assistance to come help me with my car, and so they could fully replace my tire, provided with my car's warranty. And that it was going to be a waiting game. As you may know, waiting for roadside assistance can be such a pain, but it was safer than trying to fix my car myself and not making it to work or in general hurting my vehicle. I got no response. With my job at the resort, I sell groups and detail them. I was talking to our banquet chef about this group and ways we can accommodate them. The food and beverage and sales department have a shared office space here, so it was easier to chat with him about my ideas. Our general manager came into the office, probably to check if I was at work, grabbed my shoulder and physically directed me to my cubicle. She only asked, "Have you prospected today?" Then walked out of the office once I sat down. First of all, lady, do not physically grab my shoulder to direct me to my desk while I was meeting with my colleague about a group that I was trying to finalize. She didn't even know the context. I understand that selling and prospecting are important. I do a very good job at balancing my job duties. I don't waste time. Since I was late, I emailed our DOSM, my direct manager, that I had submitted PTO for the time I missed, and was happy to email her documentation from the roadside assistance if needed. DOSM approved my request. Fast forward to Monday. My car was normal. I was on time, as I usually am. Then GM put a meeting on my calendar. It was me, GM, and DOSM for 10 minutes till the meeting time. She said she wanted to talk about what happened. I explained to her the situation. This was her response. "I think you're lying to me. I have dealt with too many employees delayed today to believe that you're actually telling the truth. I actually left the resort to see where you were and saw you on the side of the road on the phone. You are lying." This was my response. I understand that people were delayed today, especially since the storm and many people take a long commute to work. It can be hard to manage so many people and have many tasks that you are responsible for. However, I have never given you a reason to doubt what I am telling you. With that said, I am happy to send you the document that I received from roadside assistance. The GM wrote, "Please send it over. You may be dismissed." I immediately sent her and my boss proof of what happened. I have received a response. The thing that shocks me is that she went 25 to 30 minutes each way, completely out of her way to turn around and head back to the resort just to see if I was lying or not. I would never drive out of my way to see if an employee was lying. If I ever saw a colleague on the side of the road just parked, I would immediately pull over to see if they needed help or if I can call someone. I would do whatever I could to help them. I love to see that her $200K plus salary is going to waste and checking to see if I was actually lying. You wasted almost an hour doing that? Really, psycho lady? I talked with my partner about this, and he said, I'm shocked you didn't quit on the spot. I wanted to quit so badly and leave this place. This has been one of many instances since I have been working there. Since then, I've thought about doing an Irish goodbye and quitting. But I don't want to have that be a skeleton in my closet since the industry is such a small world. Thoughts? Ideas? I know I don't work at the front desk. Please don't come for me. I've spent years working at the front desk in hotels that have never experienced this much disrespect. Edit/update. Today, I just met with my boss, and she let me know that after I left the GM's office after our meeting on Monday, the GM told her that, quote, when I saw her car outside, I was looking around it and in it to see if I could see a spare tire on it or her tire was flat in the back. I didn't see it, so she's a dishonest liar. Mind you, with the warranty I have with my car, roadside assistance will give you a completely new tire, collect your old one if needed. I was in a snowy, mountainous area, so my spare couldn't make it through the huge inclines and declines 5 to 6% in this weather. I told my work bestie about it because she was out of the office until today. She said, I saw that. She just didn't register what happened until I was talking to her about this whole mess of a situation. Finally, I would never snoop around my employee's car or look into it to try to find evidence of her lying. WTF. So thanks for being with us. The RR Show is a production of Evergreen Podcasts and Wessler Media. Now, if you'd be so kind, please follow or subscribe to our show wherever you get your podcasts. And if you're feeling extra nice, you might as well leave a 5-star review. But for more, visit the website, rrshow.com. That is rrshow.com. I'm your host, Vince, and we'll see you next time here on The RR Show.